Most Valuable and Wanted American Rare Prints Part 2. The 22-cent stamp from 1987. It is the first in the U.S. collection to represent the flag of the United States and fireworks. In fact, it was precisely 210 years before the issue of this piece that June 14, 1777, the Continental Congress adopted the Stars and Stripes as the official flag of the United States. You will be able to see in the center the American flag waving above the fireworks. Top right. The nominal value of the piece: 22 cents of the U.S. dollar. Postage stamp issued on May 9, 1987. It had a circulation of 729,500,000 copies. Printed with the photo engraving method, where words and drawings were engraved using a computer. It has an 11 serration, and today it is worth $91. The 1994 set of 4 $2 stamps was issued to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the production of the first U.S. postage stamps by the American government agency, Bureau of Engraving and Printing, company founded following the outbreak of the Civil War in 1862. On the center of the piece, you will be able to see the bust of George Washington depicted. At the top of the page, a red brick building structure present on 14th Street and Independence Avenue in Washington. To the left, the year 1894. Date of award of the contract by the U.S. government to produce all the country's stamps. To the right, anniversary year and 100th anniversary. Series issued on November 3, 1994. It was printed in 5 million sheets with the lithography method, which allows the stamp to be printed with much higher quality on a completely smooth and flat surface. The colors and inks are opaque, and the shading is made up of dense, crossed lines. Stamps that have an 11 perforation. Today one of these sheets is worth $99. The 2016 Clinton stamp. It's part of a series which was to be dedicated to the presidents of the United States of America. This piece was printed before the 2016 election result. Hillary Clinton represented on the stamp. The presidential seat was played with Donald Trump. Clinton was ahead in all polls, and the U.S. Postal Service wanted to preempt the presidential announcement with the printing of these stamps. Her bust above the American flag. In 2016 the elections were won by her opponent Donald Trump, and in fact these pieces were withdrawn from sale. A rare modern misprint, which increased the value of the stamp. Today one of these pieces is worth $110. The 1861 Washington 10-cent stamp. It depicts the bust of the first President of the United States of America, George Washington, who held his role for 8 years, from 1789 to 1797. This piece is the first design of the 10-cent stamp from the 1861 series. Above the bust, you will be able to see the writing. US postage. Up. The nominal value of the pi, 10 cents of the American dollar. Postage stamp issued on September 17, 1861. The circulation is not known. It was printed with the filigree flat plate method. That thanks to a smooth matrix. By pressure he drew and transferred the ink to the paper. Stamp that has a 12 perforation. Today it is worth $5,500. The 1847 Louis Bears provisional stamp. It is part of one of the rarest and most famous pieces in U.S. philately. In 1845, uniform postal rates were established in the United States. 2 years after, in 1847, the issuing of federal stamps was authorized. In this period of time, these stamps were issued, called Postmaster Provisionals, which served as proof of advance payment of postage costs. On the center, the coat of arms of Missouri is depicted. Federal state in the Midwest of the United States. Next to 2 bears, symbolizing the rugged durability of Missouri citizens. Up. The writing showing the nominal value of the piece. 10 cents of the American dollar. With this rate, the letter could be sent over 300 miles. Down. The motto in Latin. Salus populi suprema lex esto. Stamp that has no perforations. It was printed on thin woven paper. Its circulation is not known. And today it is worth $8,450 on the philately market. The 13-cent stamp of 1909. Depicted in the center. The bust of George Washington. The peculiarity of this piece lies in the method with which it was printed. Issued on an experimental bluish paper. It was wet and printed. That thanks to the pressure force. The ink and the drawing transferred onto the paper. However, this method had the risk of shrinking during drying, causing irregular perforations or misaligned images above the bust. The writing is shown. US postage. All below. The nominal value of the piece. 13 cents of the American dollar. Postage stamp issued in 1909. It had a circulation of only 1,000 pieces. And today it is worth up to $10,750. The 1873 proof sheet consists of a stamp print, which were used for testing, created to improve the quality of future printed stamps. On the center, the bust of William Seward is depicted. Secretary of State of the United States of America. Between 1861 and 1869. Role held during the presidency of Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson. Proof sheet made from engraving plates. It was printed on thin Indian paper. High-quality material and handmade. Highly absorbent paper. The ink could be imprinted well. Under the bust. The nominal value of the piece, which may vary based on its emission value. Proof sheet issued in 1873. There are about 10 known in circulation. And one of these is worth $18,500.